What's up guys, John Rettinger here. I've gotten a lot of requests to continue comparing the iPhone 3G and the Palm Pre. There were a lot of features that people wanted to see head to head and wanted to compare Wi-Fi speeds. When the iPhone 3GS launches next week, I'll start a whole new series comparing the 3GS with the Pre. That'll be comparing modern hardware versus modern hardware. Let's go ahead and get started. First we'll unlock both devices. Push it twice, drag up, and slide over. Now the first thing that I want to compare is time it takes to get online. So I'm going to push the browser button on the iPhone and push the browser button on the Pre. But know that the iPhone takes you right online, the Pre takes you to the bookmark. So we'll go from bookmark to bookmark actually. So we'll launch that. And here we have the Pre. So we'll go ahead and we'll launch like website, so we'll launch YouTube at the same time. So I'm going to go and type that in. Okay, so YouTube, John for Lakers, and John for Lakers here on the bookmarks. And we'll do exactly the same time over exactly the same Wi-Fi network. So this will be a very fair test. And they are both off. And it looks like the Pre is already done, handily beating the iPhone 3G. Certainly when the 3GS is launched, you'd expect possibly different results. But this is launching the exact same page at exactly the same time on exactly the same Wi-Fi network. So this is mostly a test of the hardware of the two devices. It's definitely something to keep in mind. Also, people said that my screen rotation comparison that I did in previous videos wasn't necessarily fair and accurate because the Pre just had a web optimized page on it and the iPhone 3G had an actual page. So let's go ahead and compare screen rotations on each. So let's start with the iPhone 3G and I'll show you this on its own and then we'll do a head-to-head comparison. Take the phone, hold on its side, and there's the screen rotation. Go back up. Let's pull out the Pre, let's try the same thing. So let's try the two together and see how we do. Zoom out just a bit. That was actually relatively close. And the Pre was still just a little bit faster. Try that one more time. And once again, the Pre is just a little bit faster, but you almost would expect that from a faster processor and a little more modern hardware. The Pre was just released last week. The iPhone 3G is just a week old. Again, with the 3GS, you'd probably expect relatively different results. So let's talk a little bit about navigation here. We'll go back to the home screen on each. I will throw this card away. The navigation on the Pre is very different from the iPhone, but in a lot of ways the same, if that makes much sense. So on the iPhone, you've got your 4 icons across the bottom, and you've got your home screen that you can scroll across, and the icons stay static on the bottom. On the Pre, you've got your 5 icons on the bottom, and I should correct myself as well from a previous video saying that these can indeed be customized. And anytime you want to scroll from the home screen, you actually have to launch a launcher. And then you can scroll through your icons like that, and they can be rearranged on either screen. So let's compare one of the applications that I use quite a bit, Google Maps. We're going to compare it for the iPhone, which runs natively, or the Palm Pre, which actually runs Google Maps via the web, since this was a web operating system. So it's very interesting how they were able to optimize a web app. Let's go ahead and launch Google Maps if I can find it. There we go. And Google Maps should be very familiar. So there was a pizza place I was looking up. If you ever use Google Maps, the iPhone version is quite similar. Found my location. You can move around, you can zoom in. It's very smooth being a native app and now connected over Wi-Fi. You can peel up, you can drop your pin, show traffic, satellite view, hybrid, or list. Now on the Pre, it's interesting. Let's go ahead and launch this, and it's a little bit of a different UI actually. So it actually has to connect to a website and download all the information since it is just a web app. But interestingly enough, it works just as well. So you get that same icon to find your location. So you can go and find my location, and there it is. And you can do that same multi-touch zooming. And if you pull up the menu, which is just the same as peeling back that page, you get very familiar options. Show traffic, get directions, satellite, view, or clear map. So getting traffic is a pretty intensive thing. So let's go ahead and, oops, pushed the wrong button. Let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. You can see that it's actually very quick pulling up the traffic. Again, this is over a Wi-Fi connection, but a lot of concern was how the Pre was going to interact with the web and how these web apps were going to work. And I gotta say, so far they almost look native. I've been very impressed with the Palm Pre. So guys, wanted to give you another head-to-head comparison of the 3G and the Pre. Just a few features that I use all the time and probably you use all the time as well. And the last one that I want to show you is the phone application. Let me go ahead and open that up. On the iPhone 3G, it should be very familiar to a lot of you. Most people have, or most people watching my videos have at least seen an iPhone dialing application, but you may not have seen one on the Palm Pre. Let me show you what it looks like, and you'll see that they look very similar. And there's a reason that they look very similar, actually. One of the head designers on the iPhone actually left Apple to work for Palm. He's actually now running Palm. And that's how a lot of the iPhone-esque cues, we'll say, came to the Pre. We'll say the Pre was influenced by the iPhone. But in all fairness, most modern touchscreen phones were influenced somehow by the iPhone. So here's the dialer application. Very nice and similar. There is no visual voicemail, however, as of yet on the Palm Pre. And it's relatively what you'd expect. The speaker on the Pre, though, I will tell you, you could probably hear it right there, is crazy loud from that speaker on the back. It is really, really, really loud. I actually had to turn down the volume because it was too loud. So hope you enjoyed, and make sure you stick around next week for a comparison of the 3GS versus a Palm Pre, and we may have very different results. Hope you enjoyed. For exclusive content, be sure to follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/John4Lakers. There'll be a link up in the sidebar for that. And feel free to ask me questions there about the Pre or the iPhone 3G. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.